There is a kind of woman who doesn't need to raise her voice to be heard. She doesn't manipulate, compete, or demand. And yet, her presence lingers. She stays in a man's mind long after she's gone, not because she tried to be unforgettable, but because she was willing to be seen. According to Carl Jung, the human psyche is a complex dance between what we reveal and what we conceal, the conscious persona and the hidden shadow. And in relationships, it's not the mask that captures someone's heart. It's the rare moment when the mask slips and the soul is visible. The emotional vulnerability that truly hooks a man isn't a performance. It's not pretending to be weak or wounded. It's the courageous act of letting him witness your internal world, your doubts, your longings, your scars, without shame. And in that moment, something ancient awakens in him. Not pity, not domination, but reverence. Because the feminine power that captivates is not found in perfection, it's found in presence. Jung believed that the feminine psyche is deeply rooted in the archetype of the anima, the soul image, the bridge to the unconscious. And when a woman is in contact with her anima, when she stops suppressing her emotions and instead lets them move through her like poetry, she becomes magnetic. Not in a flashy external way, but in the quiet, haunting way that makes a man feel like he's been granted access to something sacred. This isn't about oversharing or emotional chaos. This is not about trauma dumping to provoke sympathy. Emotional vulnerability, when rooted in self-awareness, is not chaotic. It's calm. It's clear. It's powerful. It's the woman who can say, "This is how I feel," without flinching. The woman who can sit in silence with her sadness, who doesn't need to hide her tenderness behind sarcasm or control. The woman who knows how to hold herself emotionally, yet doesn't shut herself off from being held. She does not need a man to fix her, but she does allow him to witness her. And that witnessing, Jung would say, is what awakens the deeper masculine. Because the masculine is not magnetized by performance, it is magnetized by essence. When a man is confronted with a woman who is emotionally real, who is not playing a role but revealing a truth, something within him shifts. He is no longer engaging with her persona, her mask, her ego identity, but with her deeper self. And the deeper self calls forth his. Jung wrote that love is the process of individuation, the psychological journey of becoming whole. And no one becomes whole without being mirrored, challenged, and seen. Emotional vulnerability is the mirror. It reveals not only who you are, but who he could become beside you. This is why so many women who try to be perfect fail to form deep bonds. Perfection is lifeless. It gives no space for intimacy. But when you show your emotional truth without expectation, without manipulation, you allow connection to emerge on a soul level. Jung called this the sacred tension between opposites, the union of the conscious and unconscious, the masculine and feminine. And in this union, the mask cracks, the projections dissolve, the real begins. To hook a man emotionally is not to trap him, it's to awaken him. But here's the paradox. The more you try to be vulnerable to get him to love you, the less effective it becomes. Because then, your vulnerability becomes a tactic, not a truth. Real emotional vulnerability only works when you don't need it to work. When it's not a strategy, but a state of being. When you're not trying to be chosen, but simply choosing to be real. And here's what Jung would tell you. When a woman chooses to be real instead of impressive, she becomes unforgettable. Because she touches a man not through seduction, but through resonance. She doesn't compete. She reflects. She doesn't chase. She invites. She doesn't cling. She witnesses. And in her emotional clarity, in her ability to feel without drowning, to reveal without demanding, she embodies what Jung called the individuated feminine, a woman who is whole within herself, yet open to love, not from emptiness, but from fullness. This woman doesn't hook a man through insecurity or drama. She hooks him through self-possession. She makes him want to rise, not because she needs him to, but because her very presence calls forth the best in him. Because when you are rooted in your own emotional truth, you don't need to prove your worth. Your being does it for you. So the emotional vulnerability that truly captivates isn't loud. It's not messy. It doesn't beg. It whispers, "I see you." It says, "This is me." And it lets love decide what comes next. That is the kind of vulnerability that lingers. That magnetizes. That hooks, not the ego, but the soul. If this message resonated with something deep inside you, don't let it fade. Subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss a step on this journey of self-remembering. And if you feel brave enough, share in the comments. What part of you are you finally ready to show without apology? Let's build a space where authenticity is celebrated and where women stop hiding who they are just to be loved. You were never meant to be invisible. Let's make sure you're unforgettable.